What's up, guys? So back, and this time we're playing around with the Go Kart. Sam has pretty well put it together and got it mostly running, but the engine's not really running quite right, and we're adjusting the steering. So let's check it out. So the engine had sat on a shelf about 4 years, and when they got it started up, it wouldn't really get up to RPM and was blowing oil out everywhere. So we're going to tinker with that a little bit. Probably needs a carb cleaned out and maybe some bolts torqued down to see if we can get those seals to work. And Sam is adjusting the steering, which apparently wasn't working well at all. I haven't tried driving it yet.
Virtually non-functional.
Virtually non-functional. But we'll get it. But it's looking good. This is all Sam's work. He got this thing together, and I'm liking the look. It's got kind of that Honda Odyssey look going. So we took the carb apart to make sure it wasn't like jammed up, gummed up. It's actually really clean inside. But we did learn a thing. This we thought was our choke on off. Apparently that's the fuel. And this little guy that we weren't even messing with is in fact the choke. So I don't even know if it was choked or not, but we're gonna play with this a little more and see what happens when we put it back together. Now that we at least understand the mechanics of the carburetor. All right, we're choked. Ignition is on. It's got fuel. It's just wide open.
Whoops.
She was ready to run. Yeah, as soon as I took it off choke, it was about to like spin up to 10,000 RPM and explode. That was sounding like a go-kart.
That was sounding like it was shit, but it was making my chest hurt. It is so loud.
This is special. We can go ahead. You get that on. Let's get the air filter on before we suck something through it. That is exciting. We didn't change anything. Oh wait, we learned how to choke work. Guess that's something.
Pizza. Let's go put that pizza in.
I can't. I'm committed.
What, are you serious? Not until I get my headgear on.
Fuel is on. She's choked. Might not need choke. Hand me a flathead.
Purging oil. Let's go get our last meal before we ride this thing.
That was awesome.
Fuel on. I'm going to put the choke on.
Death Wish 1 is ready. For whatever reason, we can't get this guy to run right. It's just not building power, and I don't know, we're gonna have to take it apart, tear it down. It's like blowing oil out of every seal in it. We went back, when we built it, we torqued it all to factory specs, and then I just don't think the torques are right. So we're gonna do a little research, pull this engine off. But you can see it's just blowing oil out. This is all oil from under it. I didn't drain the oil, this is what's being blown out of it. So we're gonna yank this engine off, put on just a bone stock 6.5 horsepower or 6 horsepower Harbor Freight engine, and get it running, just to prove everything else is running. Work on this on the side. Once we get this running good, we'll probably slap it back on. But that's the game. We even swapped out the torque converter just to make sure it wasn't the torque converter stalling out on us, but I think it's just this engine, for whatever reason, would not build power properly. Well, it's not running. Don't overthink the problem too much. $100 plus tax from Harbor Freight, one of those coupons. Can't complain. I mean, it's, yank this thing out, let's bolt it on. Should have it running tonight, assuming that this engine works right and the torque converter's working right. Can't prove that it is, but we went through 2 torque converters, so I don't think the problem's the torque converter. I think the problem's in the engine, and this is the same basic engine, so it should bolt right in. And it's held on with like literally 4 bolts. Got a throttle cable, connect the output shaft, fuel line, oil, gas. This thing should be running. We'll see what's happening, but I think we can get this on in the next 2 hours. The only minor problem we had with swapping the new engine in was the old one was just spewing oil everywhere. So everything had a nice glaze of motor oil on it, so it's kind of messy to work with, but we wiped it down as best we could and slapped the new one on, just a little messy. It took us less than an hour to get it bolted on, tightened down, and everything hooked up. Now she was ready to run. New engine on in about an hour. Let's try it.
Want to jump in it?
Yeah, it's choked right now. I think it's on.
I'll know real quick.
Yeah, give it a pull or two. Okay. Good first run, but the chain's hitting something, the chain guard. Get that off and I think we're good. What is that? That's the sound. She's quick, and this bar is a hazard.
Do you want to jump it?
Yeah, I want to jump it.
I'll give you.
Drive this thing. Move that well. I didn't know what to expect, but it just... Yeah, half throttle, or is it losing something? I don't believe he's got it at half throttle.
Found that I'm not overly photogenic.
You don't try too hard.
I hope I look better in person.
All right, she's running. The engine's running good. The engine's pulling way better than the other one. So the other one just was not making power, not even 6 horsepower.
But why is it
So
slowing down?
the only reason I can see it slowing down, and I think that belt is physically smaller. We're smoking the belt. We went up in tire size. I think we effectively went up about 25% in tire size. So that's throwing the gearing way off. So we need to somehow adjust that gearing. There's not enough room on the sprocket to go bigger or smaller on the sprockets.
It would take less than 2 minutes to swap out these tires. My impact gun, pop those nuts, slide the old ones on. If you want to give them a try.
Yeah, that's a good data point. Although I think
That'll let us know whether
but I think we've smoked this belt.
You can let it cool off. It'll be fine.
No, I think we've literally like taken material off the belt.
It'll be fine. Probably, maybe.
Yeah, let's put the other
Once it
tires on.
stops smoking, it'll be fine.
Yeah, put the other tires on. Let's see what she does.
All right.
We'll swap back the tires and see how it runs. So the reason we believe it's slowing down is because the tires and wheels are off of a four-wheeler, which are bigger than a Go Kart would normally have with this size engine. Because they're bigger, it effectively raises the gearing and would require more power to push that gear ratio. Because the engine's not big enough, the torque converter and the rubber belt in it is taking the brunt of that abuse, and that rubber belt is literally burning up in the torque converter. So we think that if we switch back to these smaller wheels, it'll perform better.
We got to put it back where it was.
Well, through the chain, I think the sprockets are worn out and maybe misaligned slightly. We'll have to play with that some other time, but I'm out of time for today, so I'll call this a success. This engine's pulling much better. It was running good, but definitely some issues with the sprocket and chain. Have to get back to that. Get it good, running good on a baseline. Then we'll probably look to put some of the performance parts on this and see what we can get out of this engine. Just get it running good on a stock, but I'm happy. It's a heck of a good starting point. Better than most of our projects. So, until next time, we'll see you.